What's going on, everybody? So I wanted to take a minute out of my day, which is crazy because it's Christmas Day, to wish you all a Merry Christmas and to thank you all for subscribing to my channel, for watching my videos for all of 2018. It has been an amazing year in my YouTube career, and I couldn't have done it without all of you guys. So I want to say Merry Christmas to all of you and your family. Happy New Year in case we don't see you till after the New Year. Please be safe. Enjoy your families, enjoy your day, and we'll see you soon. Have a good one, guys. What's going on, guys? So, something a little different, actually a lot different today. Those of you who are tech nerds, telecommunications nerds, you're going to love this video. Everybody else going to hate it, but it's a video that I want to do because I am an electronics geek, I am an electronics nerd, and I love this stuff. So now, I don't know how many of you guys know, but I have been, I don't want to say an Apple fanboy, but I have been an Apple fan since the very beginning. Since the Apple II, the Apple IIc, the very first Macintosh, the iMac, the Power Macs, the G5s, all that stuff. And I've also been an iPhone guy. I got the very first iPhone when it was first released, I think, what, 2012-ish? And then subsequently, I owned the iPhone 3G, the 3GS, the 4, the 5, the 6, 6S, 6S Plus, and the 10 ultimately. So I've had pretty much every iteration of the iPhone with the exception of the 7 and the 8 because it was just, didn't make sense to not go to the 10. But now things are changing a little bit in the marketplace. The Apple phones are getting highly, highly expensive, like to the tune of an iPhone XS Plus right now, spec'd out to the limit, is I think $1,400, $1,200 to $1,400. And Apple themselves, since Steve Jobs passed away, in my opinion, has been going further and further downhill. And if you want to see a little bit of what Apple has been up to when it comes to providing their customers with what they claim is excellent service, then I'm going to put a link in the description to Louis Rossman's channel. He does a lot of MacBook repair and things of that nature, and he's got some pretty good pieces on why Apple is horrid right now. So what I did was I went out into the marketplace and I started looking at Android phones. And the reason I was looking at Android phones now is back, I think, when the iPhone 5 came out, the 4 or the 5, I went and got myself a Samsung Galaxy S7, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. And part of the reasoning, I think, was because that Apple and iOS are so very easy to use. They're so very intuitive. There's not a whole lot of option there. It is what it is. It's been what it is since the very first iPhone, with minor tweaks and upgrades and, you know, visual pleasantries and everything else added to the iOS. But for the most part, it's been identical from every single phone. And in my life, I use my phone for a lot, you know, between using it to remote diagnose cars, using it to look up diagnosis when I'm in a car, looking in, you know, wiring diagrams and things of that nature. So I use my phones a lot, and I wanted something easy to use, so I stuck with the iPhone. Well, now, in the marketplace, any of you who are tech savvy may know that there are tons of companies out there making Android phones. You don't just have Samsung, Google, LG, and the big manufacturers anymore. You have these little startups that started 2 and 3, 4 years ago, like Huawei. You have OnePlus. You have, God, there's so many of them out there now. Those are just the two that I know. Pocophone. You've got all kinds of these offshore manufacturers that are now starting to kind of launch into the U.S. market with these Android phones that are at flagship quality for half the cost of what you pay for an iPhone or a Galaxy or a Google Pixel or one of those. So ultimately what I ended up going with is OnePlus. And I did a ton of research on the company. They just launched their new OnePlus 6T, Snapdragon 845, 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage, 1080p, full HD, OLED screen, just absolutely phenomenal specs with a starting price of $549. So at $549, you're getting flagship quality at half the cost, or less than half the cost in that aspect. So with that being said, what I want to do is I want to show you guys what is sitting in the box right below me here. I'm going to unbox this thing because it's actually really super cool, and we'll talk about it a little bit. We won't go through the OS because I'm not really familiar with Android as of yet, so this isn't going to be a review, more so than it is me switching to an Android phone from an Apple iPhone. So here we go. I'll show you guys what's in the box. We'll open it up, we'll go through it, and you'll see the difference between the packaging you get with Apple and the packaging you get with a smartphone that is half the cost. Alright guys, I'm going to apologize in advance for the crazy angle on this because I don't have a tripod tall enough to actually get this from the top, but bear with me. We're going to start unboxing this thing and see what it's all about. Now, if you're not aware, this is the McLaren Edition OnePlus 6T. The specs on this are 10 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, Snapdragon 845, full HD screen, the whole 9 yards. So I bought the McLaren Edition, not necessarily for the specs, but because I'm a car guy, and this is the first cell phone company that I've seen that has actually done a car-versioned rendition of their phone and not done it horribly wrong. There are several manufacturers out there that try to do, you know, there's one that partnered with Lamborghini, there's one that partnered with Porsche, there's one that partnered with Ferrari, I think, and they all came out sort of hokey, but this one, out of all of them, I think is done very, very well. So let's see what's inside this box. So I don't know if you can already see, but the box itself says salute to speed on the side, and it is carbon fiber themed. Alright, so let's see what we have inside. Fast and smooth on the top of the box, and then salute to speed. Now, I've already gone through a million different reviews on this thing, and I've literally seen pretty much every aspect of it. I'm not going to go through it all. You can go online and find full reviews of everything, but what you get on top in the very first part is a nice little papaya orange bound book, and inside that book there is a ton of stuff dedicated to those in constant pursuit of speed. There's some history in there of McLaren, there's some history in there of the OnePlus team. There's, you know, McLaren OnePlus. We'll show you a pretty cool feature on this. This book has a little bit more than just a book, so we'll show that in a little bit, but that's the book itself. And then once you get to the back of the book, there is actually all of the specs over here. And I don't know how well you guys will be able to see those, but basically it just gives you what it's made of, the weight, everything else of the actual McLaren F1 car. Then you get all your specs for your phone. Of course, again, 10 gigs of RAM, Warp Charge 30, which is 30 watts of cool and safe power to charge, up to 50% capacity of the total battery in 20 minutes worth of charge. So that's super fast, and that's super interesting. So at the other side of the book back here is where the actual phone is. We'll get to that in a second. We'll put the book aside and see what you get. Now, see, here's the one thing that I love about these companies. When you buy an Apple phone, they always con you into buying one of their Apple-branded cases. Now, in my experience from buying Apple phones for, God, the last 6 or 7 years, the Apple cases are anywhere from 70 to 80 bucks, and it's ridiculous. I mean, they give you deals to make you feel like you're getting something for nothing, but whatever. OnePlus, on the other hand, actually includes this nice McLaren branded, I don't know, again, you can't really see, but McLaren branded carbon fiber case. So you have the McLaren logo right here, you have the OnePlus logo right here. It's got a nice feel to it. Kind of a not smooth but not rough, and then the inside is nice and soft for the phone. You get a nice little trinket here with some stuff about Mr. Bruce McLaren himself, And then the cool part that I love, and obviously you get your USB-C charging cable in papaya orange. You get your 30-watt charging brick, also has papaya orange accents, and I don't know how well you can see that color on the camera. Doesn't really show up all that well, but it's kind of a deep dark orange. It's really nice. And I'm not a big fan of orange, but here's what I wanted to see the most. Is this little salute to speed plaque for McLaren and OnePlus. It's got a little piece of actual McLaren carbon fiber in there. Tells you the model of the phone. The MCL 33 edition carbon fiber 2018, handcrafted in England. So that's kind of nice. I mean, you can, you know, as for car memorabilia and whatnot, you can put that on your desk, and which is exactly what I'm going to do. And then, of course, you have your USB-C to headphone, because this phone doesn't have a headphone jack, which is pretty much the norm for all the new smartphones anyway. And I use wireless everything, so it doesn't really matter. I'm probably never going to use that thing, so it's going to sit right in the box where it belongs. And then, of course, underneath here in this, you have your user manual, you have your, you have your SIM ejection tool, and then just a bunch of OnePlus info. Alright, so now that we got all that out of the way, the unboxing and whatnot, let's go to the back of this book and see what we have here. So this is the OnePlus 6T McLaren Edition. Let me get some of these stickers off of here so you can see it a little bit better. Alright, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but you can see the nice papaya orange around here, the gradient on the side of that. Absolutely gorgeous. Got the McLaren logo down at the bottom there. And if you look close enough, it is glass in the back, but it is also got a carbon fiber pattern behind it. So let's get this baby fired up. What I really like too, also comes with a screen protector. Probably can't see that on camera, but it does come with a screen protector built in, so you do not have to get one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to power this up, see if we get any kind of cool screens, which I think we probably will. OnePlus powered by Android. Guys, the way this phone feels, it blows. Oh, look at that, the McLaren logo. That's a pretty neat little animation. This phone feels way more quality than the iPhone does. Like, it's got a nice weight to it. It's got a real premium feel to it. We're going to show you something really cool that they did with this phone. So, yeah, let me get this thing set up. I'm like speechless right now. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Let me get this fired up. We'll get some data in it, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so here's what I was talking about with the cool features in the book. Now this says, salute to speed, discover the world of OnePlus and McLaren in augmented reality. Turn on your camera to reveal these secrets hidden in the pages of this book. So we'll hit start discovering. Allow. 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 Alright, now, we can take the book, open it up, and I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. I'll turn the volume all the way up. But when you pass over every page in the book, you actually get a video of what is in here.
It's good that we did this. I think from here on out, things will be different.
So that's pretty cool. Every page of the book has an augmented reality that goes along with the camera and the phone, so that when you, again, it's just so hard to do. When you go over it with the phone, it starts to play little bit more info on what's contained in the book. So that's super cool. I'm going to have to go through that eventually. Alright, so the big thing that I hated on the Samsung phones was the fact that the gestures were so terrible. Like, swiping side to side and left and right and all that other stuff was horrible. But on the OnePlus so far, it's absolutely perfect. Like, you know, you've got this really nice screen with these beautiful backgrounds on it. And then you just swipe up from anywhere and you get to the app drawer. So you have all your stuff there. You can swipe back down, swipe down here, and you get your main notifications from the top, and as well as all that. Then you have a hidden app drawer over here where you can, you know, put stuff that you don't necessarily use all the time. Then, of course, you know, all your home screens and widget screens. And then you have everything down here with the app drawer. You have your typical Android back, home, and all those buttons and your, you know, previously used apps. I mean, there's a decent amount of stuff here. We got Gmail. And then, of course, you can literally just swipe up from the bottom, and we'll actually... we'll go through and change these gestures a little bit, but you can literally just use it like you would any other phone, and it definitely mimics. And that's the other thing too, the animations are beautiful. Guys, listen, I am not a phone reviewer. I just kind of wanted to show you guys what you can get for half the cost. Now, this special edition phone, 10 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, Snapdragon 845, dual cameras in the rear, McLaren theme, super nice weight, super nice feel, $700. This iPhone 10 that I just picked up a year ago, $1,000 plus. I think I paid $1,100 for this one when it came out. That's 64 gigs with 4 gigs of RAM. So, huge difference there, guys. And I mean, just the quality differences between the two. Screens look about the same quality. I mean, the OnePlus is a little less bright. Well, it's because the brightness isn't up. There we go. So yeah, OnePlus gets about the same brightness. Looks pretty amazing to me. I'm going to get this thing set up, start messing with it, start using it, get some stuff transferred over to it, and I'll come back and give you my thoughts in a couple minutes. Alright guys, so far this thing is absolutely incredible. It's got a ton of fingerprints on it because I've been messing with it, but they have literally made everything so easy with this phone, especially now transferring all your data from your iPhone. You could do it through Google Drive. All my pictures, all my freaking contacts, everything is there. And all I had to do was back it up to Google Drive and it just appeared on the new phone. So that was the one thing that I was concerned with, and totally not an issue whatsoever. Of course, I had to reinstall all my apps and all the other crap, but I really didn't have a lot on there, so not a big deal. But this thing is literally, I mean, it just is fast. The scrolling, it's a super quick phone. It's got all the same gestures, so you can, you know, close out your apps just like you did before. Everything is the same here. You have all of your, I mean, just look how fast this thing is. It moves. You have everything you need is there. All of the stuff that you would expect to be there is there. I mean, apps open probably 4 or 5 times faster than they did on my iPhone, which is crazy. It works. It's amazing. I can't wait to literally utilize this thing and see how the camera does, how the video records, how everything is there. And the one cool thing, I'm sure you guys saw that a bit, the one thing that I'm really stoked on is it's got both face unlock and it's got a fingerprint sensor. But the fingerprint sensor, you can see that little guy right there. When you touch it, it lights up. That is a under-screen fingerprint sensor. All you have to do is just touch it and boom. So that is super cool. The fingerprint sensor is built underneath the LCD screen and it works flawlessly. The face unlock, way faster than the iPhone. The fingerprint unlock, super fast, reads my thumb every time. I got to set up a few more fingers in there so I can use my index fingers instead of just my thumb. But so far in the hour or two that I've been playing with this thing, absolutely incredible. Alright guys, so that was just a quick shot of the OnePlus 6T McLaren Edition. I can really tell that I'm going to absolutely love this phone. The Android that's on it is Android 9 Pie. It's got the Oxygen OS flavor to it from OnePlus. It's very close to base Android. So everything is easy, the settings are easy, the themes are adjustable, the keyboard's adjustable. I got all of my settings set up already in it. And the one thing that I can say is when I got this phone, I started playing with it. The battery had 46% life right out of the box. I plugged it into the charger, and 22 minutes later, it was at 100%. So it took 22 minutes to charge it from 46% to 100%, which is insane. This phone has a 3700 milliamp hour battery in it, so I'm going to get some good life out of it. I really can't wait to see. Everything just went so seamless with this phone, especially the transfer over from the iPhone, and I'm just waiting for a few more files from the iPhone to go up to my Google Drive. All my YouTube stuff is good. All of my Instagram stuff is good. Everything that I log into via Google, which is quite a bit since I started doing YouTube, all just transferred right over to this phone seamlessly. So if you guys are in the market for a new smartphone and you're an Android user or you're an Apple user and you're looking to switch over to Android, I highly recommend the OnePlus devices. I'm going to use this thing for about a month or so, and then maybe I'll come back and I'll give you guys a little bit of a 1 month review on it, give you my likes, my dislikes, and things like that. But for right now, I just kind of wanted to introduce you guys into that and the fact that, hey, I'm switching over from iOS to Android, and why not document it? So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a lot different from our normal content, but I was excited and I wanted to show you guys this phone because this thing is super sick. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're almost at that 10,000 mark. We're getting there little by little every day. Thank you so much. And yeah, you know, we'll see you on the next one.